Hey guys, it's week 2 and we are breaking down the second company of this week in this episode. This company I'm speaking was the greatest company in the Chinese infrastructure. Today, its collapse is even not known to many people because such adversely it was affected. And today we are going to analyze those 3 decisions in this episode. So, week 2, let's get into it. Before this disaster, let's look at the past scenario, how great this company was. A man named Hui Ka-yen started in the mid-1990s with almost nothing. Within 20 years, he built the largest property brand in China. The company that we are analyzing today is Evergrande. Building homes in more than 218 cities in China. Imagine the scale. At its height, this company had employed 4 million people working across these projects. It didn't just build flats. It owned one of the China's biggest football clubs, a bottled water company, and even an electric car brand too. It even owned a theme park in China. So, if we want to span out and look how big was this brand was a conglomerate in China. After watching these things, everything was going normal. But that is where this story and the timeline gets heavy, because today that founder has nowhere to be seen in China and he is even banned from China's markets for lifelong. The company has been wounded up by the court and it is wiped out of the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and sadly around 1.5 million people have paid the amount in complete total and still living in a half unfinished home where there is no water facilities, no amenities and literally nothing. And to clarify, it never died from bad luck what it had, and it died from the 3 decisions again. The 3 decisions that collapsed Evergrande. Decision number 1. It sold homes before it built them to fund the next one. Let me put that in a simple way. To go behind the scene, Evergrande's model was so perfectly designed that every customer should pay the full amount before the house or the property is being built. Yes, in full amount. And what did Evergrande do with that amount? Everybody says that Evergrande may put that investment into that same property, develops them and gives the keys and hands the keys to the customers. But here's where the story turns a bit. Here, if a customer A pays for property A, instead of developing that property A, Evergrande invests that money in developing property B. And that is how the first decision made an adverse impact in the collapse of Evergrande. Decision 2. It borrowed on a scale that no company should even think of. To feed that machine, Evergrande did one of the greatest disasters that no company on the planet should do. Borrowed in billions of dollars. It borrowed from banks, bondholders and adversely, to an extent that nobody should think. It even borrowed from its own staff and suppliers, man. Later reported as liabilities, nearly 2.4 trillion yuan needs to be paid. So I want to put that in a clear way. It was not a company having a debt. It was a debt having a company name attached. And to even make that situation adverse, decision 3 comes in here. It faked the way out instead of facing the truth. Chinese regulators later fined its main onshore unit billions of yuans for just fraudulently inflating its revenue and showing the false reports. Its combined losses for the year 2021 and year 2022 came over to 800 billion yuan, the largest losses recorded by any company in the Chinese history. When a Hong Kong court finally demanded a real reconstructing plan, Evergrande couldn't even produce one. So in January 2024, the court ordered to liquidate the company. So, after summing up all these 3 decisions, what are the 3 takeaways that we need to take from this case study so that we don't commit the mistakes that Evergrande did? Takeaway number 1, as usual, the decision and the lesson. The decision, it spent tomorrow's money to look successful today. And the lesson, if you can only pay your old promises with new promises, you're not growing. You're running from a collapse that is getting bigger every day. Evergrande's biggest mistake was it made new promises to relieve the old promises. Yes, to just sum up with the old promises, Evergrande took new promises which it couldn't fulfill. Takeaway 2. The decision. It confused borrowing with building. And the lesson? Debt can buy you scale, but it cannot buy a business. Borrow to build something real or the size that impresses everyone can become the weight that it can kill you one day. Evergrande wanted to prove itself the largest infrastructure brand in China. Yes, it is good. The ambition is good. But the way they opted to achieve that was not at all perfect. They kept on borrowing money only to prove themselves and expand their scale. Okay, expanding the scale is good, but at what scale your company can, you should expand to that, right? But Evergrande, they couldn't even fulfill that big expansions was made and the promises was made to customers and investors. And while it should become the greatest brand in the human history, it turned out to be the greatest bankruptcy companies that the world has ever seen. Takeaway number 3, the decision. It lied instead of stopping. The lesson, the fraud didn't save Evergrande, it just decided who paid. Hiding the truth never cancels the bill, it only moves it on to the people who trusted you. Evergrande insolved, but the debt that it took has impacted adversely the people who have given it. Yes, it may be the companies, it may be the bondholders, it may be the suppliers or many others. The company has insolved, the company is nowhere to be seen, but the loan that the company take is still there and the people who gave it are still bearing it. So ladies and gentlemen, picture this. Somewhere in China tonight, a family is sleeping in a half-finished home where they have paid full but still are not having the amenities, basic water, basic amenities which are the basic human requirements, and they are not fulfilled. The family payment is gone, but the building is unfinished. A company can be wound up, but a debt to a family cannot be. So after analyzing this case study, we are coming up with the last week 3, with the third company in this series and the last company in this series that we are analyzing. Once this company ruled the Indian airspace, but today it is nowhere to be seen, and that is the last episode of this series. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bells so that you don't miss out the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, guys. That's it from my side for today. Meet you in the next one. Until then, bye bye.